I thought it was a good day. You know, anytime you come out of a scrimmage, you know, whatever is positive, there's someone else on the other side of the ball that is. And I'm coaching also that makes a mistake. So I think overall there was a lot of good things, and we'll get back on the first on that Monday, grade the film, and players will watch it that afternoon and next Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock. And then the most important thing is to learn from it and apply it and become better. And you know, will we make any depth changes or not? I'm not sure. We'll see. Our goal today was for our 1s and 2s and 3s, specifically our 1s and 2s, to get 30 snaps each, and for the most part we did. We rolled a lot of players. We rolled all 3 quarterbacks with different groups, the same groups so they got the same opportunities. And I think overall, they certainly did some good things, and we'll see where it goes there.
Noticed Ian Simon walk out of here in a boot.
Yeah, he just strained his ankle last week. They both went up for a pass, him and a receiver. He came back and it turned when he came down, but other than that, he was okay. Troy Boozer had today. He had a concussion today. He got concussion. But overall, we're okay. We still have a couple offensive linemen. Taylor Chappell did not scrimmage. Justin Britt did not scrimmage. So 2 of our top 3 tackles still didn't play. But we're getting, that's life. So important thing is get guys ready to go. And so most part, I think the effort's been good. Just a lot of little things. We had Evan Bain at center most of the day, and just getting him consistent on snaps. We've been last year when we were second, third, and fourth team center throughout the time. Obviously that's important to get that taken care of. We can understand that, so we have to work on that. And there's a few too many penalties, mostly on the offense of false starts, things like that. Those things need to be improved. Our PAT field goal game was not as consistent as it was. It came down to the end, the competition that we have. It came as tied at the very end, and then we put the ball on the 27-yard line on the right middle, and it's one kick. We bag it out there. If you're going to win the game, you're not going to win the game. And he missed a couple during the scrimmage, but when that right there, when it was, everything was on the line, he put it through. So the offense won today. So it was very, very competitive, and it's put those guys in really tough circumstances.
Last week you said the offensive line is, the guys that are injured are probably going to be back full pads after the break. Is that still?
I hope both those guys can be, because that'll really help us. Obviously, that's the one advantage of having 5 days, then a week off, then having 10 more. I think last couple of years the way the calendar was, we went 7 week off and 8. So this is the ideal, and that has a lot to do with the calendar when school starts and a lot of other things. But this is the best, I think, when you get 5. And then in this next week, and what's important for those guys is Justin's going to be here, Taylor's going to be back home, with him getting physical therapy back home, and keep working it so he's ready to go. So that would be really nice if we could do that. That'd be the best thing that could happen.
Is Bain at center, is that becoming closer to a permanent move?
I wouldn't say it's permanent, but it's maybe close. I guess you just said that, didn't you?
Coach, can you talk
But we're going to see about that. We're going to just kind of see where it goes. But we really think that him anchoring down the middle, a young player that is good football. After freshman year, good football player, smart. Those guys kind of feeding it off there. They quarterback that whole offensive line, and we think he's got those abilities. And so we just got to get him snapping all the time now. And you're going to pay the price a little bit, but we want to get it paid now and get that cleaned up before we get going.
Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen from Harold Brentley so far?
Harold's a really good prospect. He's very, very talented. His movement for a defensive tackle is very unique. His quickness. He was a guy when we evaluated in high school. He was 255 pounds and he was doing punt returns. And I'm watching the film thinking, where'd this guy come from? And why? And he'd been committed to Syracuse, and so everybody backed off of him. And what my understanding is, the coach that was recruiting him at Syracuse went somewhere else. And then Alex Grinch, who's on our staffs, he coached his brother in New Hampshire, and that's how the whole thing got. And he's sitting here playing for us, and that's good. He's a really good prospect. A lot of competition in there, and that's good. But just a excellent movement. He's just for a big guy. He's not. I'm not saying Sheldon Richardson. There's very few guys that will ever move like him, but he's in more of that of a mold quickness guy at 290 pounds than the bigger 3 technique guys. Each guy has his role, and each are important.
Did you see any first game jitters, first scrimmage jitters?
Yeah, I think you see that, especially for the young players. you got to understand that those young players didn't play all last season. The guys, especially the guys that redshirted. So this is really the first game day environment they've had since last August when they did some scrimmaging. So and it's all good. It's all being thrown in the arena a little bit.
You like what you saw?
Yeah, well, yeah. Like I said, I like what I see, but there's obviously when somebody does something good, I coach the guy on the other side too. So somebody did something not good. So that's all part of it. And what you want to do is you just want to see the competition. Is there any second team guys that are good enough to be first team players? And are third team guys good enough to beat second team guys out? And have the competition where you get by the end of spring football by sometimes you get by the the second, third week of two-a-days where those guys filter themselves into the depth, in the first or second team depth. So you're playing with your best players. That's the ideal thing. That's what we're really looking at right now. And we'll see where it goes.
You moved Marcus Holmes to defensive end at the end of last
Yeah.
season after he played linebacker pretty much his whole life.
Yeah.
How's that transition going?
I think he's good. He's 258. I mean, he's bigger than Michael Sam weight-wise right now. He's very competitive. He's very physical, and he's a player that I think has a great future there. And the reason we didn't wait till spring is we just wanted to line up on scout team, get in a 3-point stance and a 4-point stance, and come off the corner and do something and start getting fundamental work every day. Even though you're on a scout team, you get the fundamental work with your position coach every single practice. So that was our thinking, and I think it'll pay off for us pretty good. He can run and he's quick, and you'll see the best of him in August because this is a lot of the stuff's new for him.
Now that you've seen Pat Washington.
First scrimmage,
Mm-hmm.
you got first touchdown from Bud Sasser.
Mm-hmm.
Could you say it's the first season with music in the beginning and stretching?
Well, yeah, it was the first time I ever did that, and people ask me why. It's because they never asked me before. So if players come and ask me, I said, oh, yeah, I'll try it. That's okay with me.
Easy as that.
It's just as long as you have some Earth, Wind, and Fire and some songs, some music that I like. So I'm pretty good there. You don't know what Earth, Wind, and Fire is, do you? You do that? Okay.
You got
Okay.
him. So how do you help these guys get over the first? There's a lot of emotions running high. It's exciting. So how do you help them see past that? All right, I got the first one out of the way.
Well, I think that generally those players you're most interested in or concerned in are the players that they're probably more disappointed. Young players generally come out of these scrimmages, and all they think is, "Gosh, I must have made this mistake a lot of mistakes." And the big thing is to learn to look at things and learn from them, and then try to get the positive out of everything. And it's okay to make a mistake, and you learn. I think that's the biggest thing is not to get players get down on themselves. And we come from the teacup generation. Their parents have pampered them so much that they don't they're not used to adversity and as much adversity, and so they're sensitive, and generally we're not. So
I
see where it goes.
Teacup. I've heard millennial.
Yeah, I had the teacup. Just kind of that's my terminology. They just you're afraid they're gonna any little thing might happen, might get a little crack. But anyway, it's just I'm doing this a long years. I've seen the generations change dramatically. So many things have happened. But they're great kids, they're great competitors, and they're a good class.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.